Hey, what's up, everybody? I am your host, Lorenzo, and this is an Indie Comics review. This time I'm doing Donny Cates' crossover. It's written by Donny Cates and it's illustrated by Jeff Shaw. Uh, this is a much anticipated book. In the end of the book, Donny talks about how he's had a couple of near-death experiences. The most recent one being just this last summer, I guess. And the first one, he wrote God Country afterwards because I guess that's the state of mind he was in. And after this most recent one, I guess, came up with crossover. And this is a book to celebrate comic books, and that's what it does. It takes place in the present day, but it turns out in 2017 there was an event in Denver where the fantasy world and the real world crossed over, and every superhero imaginable came into the real world. And in Denver, Colorado, there was just this mass event where people died. I guess it was all kinds of chaos, and there's still like a force field around Denver. And since then, comic books have been pretty much taboo. They've been government regulated. Our main character is a young woman named Ellipses, and she works at a comic shop. And she's on her way to work, you can see that she's being assaulted by just ignorant people, and there's going to be ignorant people always, unfortunately, just attacking things they don't understand. She likes to dress up and do cosplay. So she's on her way to work. She gets thrown, a bottle is thrown at her, and she gets to work, and she works at this comic shop where her boss is a guy named Otto, who's kind of a jerk, but there's people like that in the industry, so everyone's seen this kind of guy. But he's a guy that, I guess, he's wearing this like Frederick Wortham T-shirt, trying to be ironic and everything. She gets to work. There's chaos going on in the shop. There's like protesters around. There's priests or so-called men of God who are just ready to condemn comics, just like Wortham did. And it's just mobs outside. Comics are demonized. Fantasy is demonized. And then there's some shit that goes down. I won't spoil, but there's an event that happens in the comic shop, and all hell breaks loose. And quite honestly, I'm not sure where this book is going, but I'm going to go along for a few issues of the ride, because it seems like it might be an interesting route. Cates to me usually starts kind of slow, like he did with Thor, so you have to give it time to build. Now, this first issue doesn't build too much, it doesn't show too much, but it's building up to something, and he talks about it with such anticipation, like, watch out, something's coming. So I'm going to stick around, at least for probably 5 or 6 issues or whatever, just to see what happens and how the story goes. Crossover, I do recommend it, just because it's Donny Cates, and he usually comes up with some good stuff before it's all over with. So that's all for this Indie Comics review. Even though crossover is technically probably not that indie, even though it is Image Comics, but it still is technically indie, because Image is an indie, of course, an indie publishing house. I'll make up for it with I'm doing a Wind review, and that's absolutely indie. That's coming up pretty soon. So thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.